Thank you.
Hi, my name's Tom Travis. Governor Ige and Mayor Kim made me responsible to take actions to identify and mitigate risk from the geothermal plant, Puna Geothermal venture. In order to do that, the first thing we did was move pentane from the plant, which we completed last week. I also put together a task force of a geothermal program manager from California, Miss Charlene Wardlow, Dr. Laura Owens, PhD geochemist, Mr. Paul Spielman, a geothermal resource engineer, Dr. Ken Hone, who's the interim chancellor for academic affairs at the University of Hawaii Hilo, Dr. David Danby, who's USGS health and environmental impacts expert, Dr. Bronstein, who you just talked to, and another member of the Department of Health. We worked and came up with a list of recommendations which were approved by Mayor Kim and Governor Ige. Our way forward is to kill and maintain kill on all of the geothermal wells, continue cooling the resource by inserting cold water through one of the injection wells. By next week, we hope to be installing plugs in the bottom of the geothermal wells so that they are isolated. The upper part of the well is isolated from the geothermal resource. And finally, toward the end of next week and maybe the week after, we'll be trying to put plugs in the injection wells, which are the lowest priority and lowest risk wells. That's generally the plan we have ahead. That's all I have. Thank you.
So wait, are the wells already killed then? You said to maintain?
No, there's 3 wells that are currently active. To kill those wells, we're going to have to pump cold water down those wells.
Active but not producing.
They're all isolated. They're shut in, but there's hot water and potentially steam down in the wellbore.
How long does it take to kill it?
It should be less than a day once we start pumping cold water down it.
Could you explain that process of killing a well? Just explain how it works. You pump cold water into it.
Pump cold water into it. There's a pipe that goes down in the ground. Fill that pipe full of cold water, and the weight of the cold water keeps the hot things in the geothermal reservoir out of the pipe.
How much water would you need to pump down there? Would it have to be pressurized?
Well, I'd have to do a calculation.
All right.
Oh, well, it's pressurized. The rig that pumps the water down there is pressurized. But the amount of water is what it would take to ensure there's cold water along the entire length of the well.
And then if the well is disturbed from a lava flow or an earthquake, that water somehow will keep the pressure, keep the hot water down, the fumes and such? Is that the way it works?
What happens is when you have the cold water going down, the weight of the cold water for a time, until you start heating things up, the weight of the cold water will keep any of the geothermal reservoir from entering into that pipe. After time, the reservoir might heat up the pipe, and it may change the process, and the well could come alive again. And that's why we stated the objective is to kill and maintain kill on all the wells.
And when it's killed, is that done? Then the danger is done. The pentane's gone. The wells are killed.
The danger's gone as long as we maintain the wells killed. However, there's also danger of lava flows going across the top of the well, which now we would no longer have a way to put cold water in the well. So the next step is to put plugs, after the well's killed, to put plugs in the well above the geothermal resource, and then at that point, nothing coming up the well is a danger. So at that point we can take precautions ensure the well is not sheared off at the top.
Why don't you simply plug the well? Is that not possible?
That's what we're doing, plugging the well.
So you're
putting
putting
water
water
in.
in the well, and then
That's
you're
first
plugging the
step.
well.
Have to kill the well before you can do anything. Once the well's killed, we're going to put plugs in the well above the geothermal resource.
Are those wells ever usable again? Is that just out of the question?
No, this doesn't stop wells from being usable. That's a question for another day.
Can you
Right
explain-
now, the only question we're addressing is how to identify and mitigate risk.
Can you explain where they are exactly, just in general terms? The wells.
The wells are on well pads. I don't know the exact number. There might be 4 well pads, which is a flat area, flattened out throughout the PGV facility. Then they're different parts of the facility. Those well pads are.
And the wells that need to be killed, there'd be 3 of those and then some reinjection wells, is that right?
There are currently 3 wells that have any pressure in them, which is a sign that they're moderately active. Those 3 wells will be the first wells that we will put down. Then we will use cold water as necessary to ensure that no pressure develops in any of the wells.
So you have to keep injecting cold water as you go, yeah?
We may not. It depends. One of the things that happens with geothermal when a lava dike goes through it is we're not sure we understand everything about the resource anymore. The lava may be changing what's going on down there. So the idea is we have to kill a well, pump as necessary to maintain the well, and then take actions to isolate the well from the resource.
And you were waiting for some equipment from California, was it?
Yes, it's on the way.
It's on the way. It's in the
No, let me restate that. We have all the equipment we need to kill the wells. We are bringing in redundant equipment from California so that if the equipment we have on site, in the very low probability it would fail, we would have backup.
And when would you start work on this, or the actual injection?
We've been working getting the plant prepared to do the injection for 3 days. We will additionally we will either start the injection on the first well tomorrow or the next day.